Joan Evans. I'm a project manager with the Wyoming Afterschool Alliance for all of the entrepreneurship initiatives that we have been working on for the past few years. And first, we'll do a few introductions of our entrepreneurship team and our guest speakers for today. So, Kate, I'll turn it over to you for a quick introduction.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kate Foster. I'm the program coordinator for the Wyoming Afterschool Alliance, and I'm happy to help support the effort through all the emails that we've been sending out and the website, and just let me know if you have any questions about all of those materials. And Heather, maybe I'll kick it to you next.
Yeah, I'm Heather Heath. I'm an intern at Impact 307 in Laramie, Wyoming, which partners with the Wyoming Afterschool Alliance, where I've been hosting the Summer Pitch Challenge and now the Winter Pitch Challenge.
Kayleigh, would you like to go next?
Hi, I'm Kayleigh Lund, and I was a participant in last year's Summer Pitch Challenge.
Great. Kelly?
Sounds good. Hi, I'm Kelly Biggar. I'm from the Young Entrepreneur Institute, and we are located in Northeast Ohio. I'm delighted to be here. We hope that maybe you use parts of our Pitch Challenge toolkit working on your pitches. We're delighted to be here and support you in any way.
Great. Jessie?
Thank you, Joan and Kelly. I'm Jessie Jones. I'm the After School Program Director at Young Entrepreneur Institute. So we get to do fun stuff like this with states all over the nation. And we're really so excited and pleased to see the wonderful work that Wyoming is doing, and especially honored to be here with a genuine young entrepreneur.
Great. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome to all of you that are participating today. We are kind of taking a little bit of a step back today to reset and let us think about the pitch challenge in general and really learn from Kayleigh on how she approached the challenge as our pilot challenge that we did in the summer and the fall. And the pitch challenge is really part of a broader initiative that the After School Alliance is calling the Wyoming Young Entrepreneur Initiative. It also includes financial literacy. And there's really kind of three initiatives going on at the Alliance right now that are all braided together: the Million Girls Moonshot, the efforts around entrepreneurship and supporting pitch challenges, and then also education for financial literacy. And really the overall goal is to provide programs with opportunities to support youth in elevating their youth voice and giving them the skills to be self-sufficient and healthy citizens of Wyoming and further their education and go on to do great things. So, we are supporting this pitch challenge right now that is going on through March. And it's really just, again, a piece of the overall initiative of supporting an opportunity for our Wyoming youth to practice entrepreneurship skills. But we're here to support you throughout that process and want to give you some ideas today as adults that are working with youth, how to approach supporting them through the thought process of participating in the pitch challenge. So we'll start out our session today by Heather Heath and Kayleigh Lund talking a little bit about how Kayleigh approached the challenge this summer, and hopefully give you some ideas on what would be helpful to the youth in your program. So Heather and Kayleigh, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Joan. So yeah, Kayleigh was a first place winner in our 15 to 18 age division this past summer. She had a great business, so I hope her insights that she can offer will be able to help you provide just the resources and the help to your students through your programs. So Kayleigh, could you start by talking about what your business is and how you identified a problem in your community to come up with a solution?
So my business is WebRite Design, and my business is helping those rural communities around Wyoming to update and upkeep, as well as upgrade their websites for their towns and communities as a resource and as a benefit to the community itself.
Very awesome. So how did you get started on the challenge, or is there any advice that you would offer to these kids in these programs who are starting this challenge?
I just got started on this challenge, hoping it would be able to help me kind of frame my future, this is a great opportunity to be able to figure out what I'm going to do. This can help me both financially and educationally, and it kind of helped frame my future. Any advice I would have was to stick with it. I had several friends who started the challenge and unfortunately did not finish the challenge, and I really wish they had finished with me because it has been a great benefit. So I would just say to stick with it, keep going. It is definitely worth it.
So since the challenge, how has your business development been going?
My business development has been going very well. I have not launched my business yet, but I'm getting closer, and I'm just at the moment working to refine the skills necessary to launch my business successfully.
That's awesome. So Kayleigh, what platform do you use for your for this, like for your business, or how are you selling this service?
I am advertising online. I have a website that I am in the process of creating to advertise that, and I will be probably using that as my platform for my business. That will be where I modify the changes, get in contact with those who need modifications done to their own town websites, and that kind of thing. So.
Very cool, very cool. So during the whole challenge, what was beneficial to you that we offered? Was from the advisors or the materials that we used, from the modules we created? What was the most helpful materials we provided for you?
I really enjoyed the modules. They were very informative. They were very good about explaining what you were trying to help us to learn. I also really enjoyed the meetings I had with you guys, the one-on-ones that kind of helped to perfect my pitch, to help my business idea to grow. That was very helpful.
So would you say that the modules were the easiest way to be self-sufficient through this challenge and this process?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Good to hear. And then just one final question, Kayleigh, were there other materials or just other advisors we could have provided you with that you wish were available during the challenge?
I wish that I had been able to communicate with my fellow entrepreneurs. We would have been able to bounce ideas off to each other, and I wish I had probably had better contact with those who were in charge of putting the modules together and doing that. That would have been helpful as well.
Okay, great. Well, Joan, that's all we have for our little interview.
That's great. And when we're talking about the modules, I don't know if Kate, if you would have an opportunity to put up in the chat where those resources are located on our Pitch Challenge webpage, but we do have the modules that were created through our partnership with Impact 307 and by Heather this summer. And they really take students, really designed probably mostly for, I would say, middle school, high school, really start them out with identifying a problem all the way through how to get their pitch completed and recorded. And then we did provide some assistance on how to actually upload that to our site for judging. So that's one resource that we have available. And then through our partners, through the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation and our 50-state network, you'll hear a little bit more from Kelly and Jessie from the Young Entrepreneur Institute on some additional resources that are available to support you through the process of walking your students through the process of developing a pitch and thinking through that process. So if you have a chance, you can check those modules out. They're very short, and there's activities that are included with each step of the process for the students to try things out. And I think it's really good feedback from Kayleigh that she would have enjoyed an opportunity to interact with her peers, and quite possibly we could facilitate a process where programs could connect the young entrepreneurs, across your program areas to visit with each other in a forum like this, or even do a couple of activities. We did do that this summer with a couple of different times. We actually had some of the young entrepreneurs online and did a couple of activities, and I think it was really helpful, and we were all able to participate and have a good time doing that as well. So Kelly and Jessie, I'll turn it over to you for our next segment to talk a little bit about how Wyoming's pitch challenge kind of fits into a bigger picture with other states that you're working with, and how programs approach getting started, because I think that's one of the big questions we have from adults that are working with youth. Maybe they think, oh, I don't have the expertise in the specific area of entrepreneurship, or, you know, how do I get students excited about the idea of putting together a pitch? So any thoughts that you have for us would be great.
Well, I'll start out talking about getting started, and I'll let Kelly talk a little bit about what's going on in other contests and how they're doing some other things in other states. But I think so. The resources that are available for students, those modules are excellent student-facing resources, and Young Entrepreneur Institute has teacher-facing resources that you can use to serve your students. We have a simple toolkit of curriculum. It's a 5-lesson plan. The simplest way to get from ideation through the development of a finished pitch. That's a free resource that's available. I think Kelly can put the link to it in the chat. But it's not only is it a simple, straightforward plan, but it was designed for anyone to be able to teach. You don't need to be a teacher. You don't need to be an entrepreneur. They're very straightforward modules, but our team is also available to provide free training and professional development, answer your questions as you go through if there are any questions. And part of that toolkit of resources, there is a printed teacher guide that includes the lessons and worksheets, but they're also supporting videos that go along with each lesson to help understand the points of the lesson, and those can be used as either a student-facing video or just for your information. And then within the curriculum, there are references out to a couple of additional videos for learning that just make some more points to help the kids down the path of critical thinking. And I just wanted to call out, in terms of critical thinking, the lesson that's it's titled Putting It All Together, but it's the one about identifying customers. And because customers and competition. The reason I bring it up is because of the title of today's presentation, and I really wanted to just emphasize the tremendous value that exercise has for kids, not only being able to practice critical thinking skills as they identify their target customers, their target market, their unique competitive advantages, and that all of that comes together with helping them identify what the competition is. And if you want to, we can, at some point, if you ever would like to have a detailed lesson on that, we're happy to go through that with you. But it's really, not only is it fun to see them having that opportunity to exercise critical thinking, it's also an opportunity. We often see the light come on there where they're really putting some pieces together with applied learning and understanding how their skills apply in the real world. So that's a lot of fun to teach that part. So practically, from the standpoint of starting to jump into the pitch contest, you can plan out your 5 lessons, or you can add more. There are extension exercises within the toolkit. So you can plan that out 1 day a week, or you can do it every day for 5 days. And the lessons also are very, because they're pretty interactive exercises, they work well for the engagement of kids in a distance learning environment, or if you're in a hybrid environment. They're things that you can really see the student remaining engaged through the process, because there's a lot of feedback that's given as they have to express their creativity. And like Kayleigh pointed out, that persistence is a really important quality that they're developing. It usually works best if it's in a program, if it's encouraged to be a required activity, so that all of the students will do it. Sometimes shy students want to step away from doing something like this because they're scared of the public speaking. But there are pointers in the toolkit for creating a safe space for practicing pitches to help them start to get that practice. And we encourage you to be doing pitching with all the students in the group every time you meet, to get that familiarity going, so by the time they get to the end, it doesn't seem strange and frightening anymore, even if they're not really accustomed to public speaking. So all kinds of mindsets can be developed and nurtured through doing these activities. And I will turn it over to Kelly now to talk a little bit about the specific states, and then we can take some questions if you have any.
Sounds good. Thank you all. We appreciate being here with you. Yes, as Jessie said, we are totally here to help. We have videos out there on the toolkit. We have webinars you can either jump into, or we are happy to do your own individual training session. So we've made it very easy to teach. You don't need to be an entrepreneur. You don't even need to be a teacher. So it's great for everybody, and everybody gains the mindset as they teach the pitch challenge and other entrepreneurial activities. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, we also work with a few other states. So I would tell you a little bit about Nebraska. And Kayleigh, I got to thinking when you talked about having sort of a group community. I know you'd probably want, kids in your own state, but I was also wondering, because the Young Entrepreneurs of the Future that's located in Omaha, Nebraska, they would love to connect some of their kids with other kids around the nation. So is that anything of interest to you? Because that could be fun. We're working with a lot of different states to see, as Joan said, maybe we could get a kid cohort or Sunday morning brunch with everybody to jump online and be able to toss ideas around, talk about what you're doing, learn about ideas that other people are doing, and just be able to talk to kids of your own age in the same position. Does that sound of interest, Kayleigh?
That sounds awesome. That would be amazing.
That's great. And I bet you would find people, like one girl is doing bath bombs and somebody else is doing t-shirts. So you might find people that are kind of doing the same product or social enterprise that you are, but also learn from different things that they're doing in another state and ideas that they have. So we'll work on that. We'll see what we can try to do. But I know Brianne in Nebraska would love to do that. And we have connections with a lot of other states. So maybe we could get a group together. I also wanted to tell you, in Nebraska, another thing that Youth Entrepreneurs of the Future is doing is they are putting together, and actually already have it online, a website where kids can sell their products. So we can certainly send you more information on that. So if kids have a product that they actually want to sell, it's almost like a Etsy for kids. So I think that's a really exciting thing that they're doing in Nebraska, and I believe they're going to be opening it up for others to join in and be a part of their website. So I wanted to tell you about that. Another thing in Ohio that we are doing this year is we are working with the Ohio STEM Learning Network, and they do a design challenge each year. So this year we have connected with them, and we are adding a pitch component. So just to let all of you know out there that this entrepreneurship stuff, pitch, anything can be added. It really is such a life skill and a wide skill that you can really put it into almost any curriculum that you're doing. So that's another option if you're already doing a STEM program or a design program or language arts thing, to kind of weave it into your curriculum or your after school program, whatever you're doing. So thought that was kind of a neat thing that Ohio is doing. The other thing Ohio is doing is having office hours. They have some mini grant programs out there, and so they have a learning community, just like you guys are having roundtables, and then just have office hours like Mondays at 11. So the weeks that they're not having a learning community, Liz and myself are on office hours to just answer any questions, have individual conversations with people, students, anybody who wants to jump on and ask questions. So if that is of interest, we are happy to do that as well. And we're working with Missouri, and they are very enthusiastic and awesome, and they have a great tie-in with 4-H. So when we did a summer challenge with them, they had a lot of 4-H kids joining in the pitch challenge. So that's a really great connection and partnership. And Missouri will be doing a pitch challenge in the spring. And we are also working with Utah that has some great people. They as well did it during the summer and are doing a contest going along with your guys' contest. So we hope in the future, at some point, maybe we can combine all these great states and do a big national contest. So we'll keep you posted on that. Jessie, any other state news you can think of?
I think that's it. I do think, like you were just saying, one thought that occurred to me goes along with what you were saying about STEM is with the Million Girls Moonshot. I believe there's
component to that. So, you know, those, if students are in your program would be doing that, that would be a way they could enter the contest. In Wyoming, they're already doing a pitch. They don't have to do our curriculum. We don't care how they come about their pitch as long as they're creating a pitch. So our tools are there for them to use. They can use the modules. They can get there however they want to get there. But yeah, pitching is really an integral part of so many of the different kinds of work that students are doing today if they're having the opportunity to have experiential education, which they often get in after school, which is why I love after school so much.
It's awesome.
Kelly, can you talk a little bit more? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just also want to mention, while it's on my mind, is the Venture Lab program. They are doing, I don't know if you guys have already talked about this, but kind of non-competitive pitch days. And I can find out the dates, but usually they do it once a month early in the week. And so what you can do is sign on to do your pitch, and they have business people, entrepreneurs, different people that will listen and give you feedback. So that's a great activity to do for the kids prior to entering their pitch in, or afterwards, or whenever, but it's a very safe, non-competitive atmosphere where you can get some feedback from outsiders on your pitch and your business idea. So that's another resource. And we are also, just sort of for future reference, working on kind of a what's next. And Kayleigh, some of these might be interesting for you, but you know, kind of after you've done your pitch, after you maybe have come up with a business opportunity, what's next? What are some resources that you can use? So we have a sheet on that I can send your way, and we can give to any of the facilitators and after school program directors. But talking about like BizWorld, yes, or the Spark program with Venture Lab, or moving on to a young entrepreneur market. So ideas for the future that you can do the pitch and then continue onwards and make a prototype and keep your idea going.
That's great. Thank you, Kelly. And I know we have a few folks from 4-H on our call. Can you elaborate a little bit more on how the partnerships with 4-H have evolved?
Yeah, Jessie, do you want to elaborate on that?
Sure.
Jessie's girls are also in 4-H, so she has a great background in it.
And they've all done the pitch contest, of course.
Right. They've done it all.
Well, they're not eligible to win because they're my kids, but so in Missouri, the way their after school network is hosted, they're physically in the same space as the university extension, and so they had resources they could partner very easily with to sort of co-promote with 4-H, and we offered our the pitch curriculum, the toolkit, and we did some workshops with them, and the kids then were working. It ended up being all virtual because of the way, the timing of that contest all happened during the pandemic. So originally, I think they probably would have worked in real time, and they would have been having a wonderful showcase at the university at the end. But the students ended up having to do it all at home. So they were learning at home with their parents rather than having the opportunity to do it with their troop leaders, like I think they ordinarily would do. Be able to do it in a group setting, to have that peer feedback that Kayleigh was saying she would have valued having. But then they had, at the end, they had a showcase, and they had the Grand Marshal of the university speak. And but it was interesting because the students were very future business focused, which I think, we saw that a lot in Nebraska and Wyoming as well, which I think that often comes from the 4-H kids.
Great. Kate, would you mind putting up a couple of poll questions? We have just a few items to get some quick feedback from all of you, if you wouldn't mind completing the poll quickly, and then we can continue our discussion. Okay, great. Thank you for doing that. I would love to hear from any of our programs that we have on the line today. If you feel that the pitch process fits into anything that you are currently doing, we would love to hear about that and how we could support you integrating this into some of the activities that you currently have in process. Any thoughts or ideas?
At Big Brothers Big Sisters in Laramie, we have our middle school program working on the pitch challenge. And really what we are doing is that we offer a bunch of different options for our kiddos. So we will offer something that's more like English or math based. And then an alternative activity will be working on the pitch challenge. I'm not working directly with our kids, so I don't exactly know at this point how often they're choosing it, but we're giving it as an option right now. So I guess to answer your question, we don't have any specific activities.
Oh, that's great, Devin. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
You know, Devin, you mentioned math activities that sparked something in my mind I wanted to mention as well, that Venture Lab has a brand new tool out there that's a business model creator that helps them with the financials associated with their business. So a lot of time, you know, that might be the next step, or it might be just another learning objective that you can add into this process. But it's an excellent tool. I actually think during this meeting, I will find the link to it and put it out there. They have just released it, and it's appropriate for, Kelly, I don't remember what year it starts, what grade level. I think it's upper elementary and middle school. And
Middle school. Yep, I agree.
Maybe a little more scaffolding than high school students need, but it still provides that lesson and that information.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that.
And Scott took us through it the other day, and it's going to be an awesome resource. It's just very easy to use, and I think you'll like it. Devin, I'm just curious, Big Brother, Big Sister, so do you run the after school program? Or like, I think here in Ohio, it's kind of bigs with littles, like it's people with a designated big or little, but is yours more of a group setting, like in an after school program?
So we have both, actually. So we have our bigs and littles in our match support program. Then we also have an elementary school after school program. So we have staff that go to 3 out of our 5 elementary schools. And then we offer programming there Monday through Thursday. Then we have a middle school after school program that meets in our building Monday through Thursday after school. That's the one that's working on the pitch challenge. Okay. Then we have a high school after school program that meets in our building. And then we also do our diversion programming for kiddos who are involved in the justice system.
Wow, it's great to hear all the wonderful things that you're doing there. I don't think our Big Brothers seems more like just sort of more of a match system, but I've always thought that could be a great activity for a big and a little to work on a pitch together.
Yeah, it's a really, really good idea. I've actually been trying to push it their way a little bit.
Oh, good. I haven't gotten anybody to do it yet, but I keep trying to contact somebody and say, this would be a great activity.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep us posted.
I will.
Okay.
Any other comments from programs that we have joining today about your thoughts about engaging students or barriers that you might have to thinking about engaging students in the challenge? And Kate did put in the chat, if you would like some additional one-on-one support, please, reach out to Kate via email or chat so we can be sure and come back around with you and connect. One fun aspect of the challenge that I want to be sure and mention is our Spirit of Wyoming Award. And really this comes from the call to action that we would like our young entrepreneurs to address a problem that they see in Wyoming today. And so really from a social entrepreneurship perspective, we have a donor that has come forward to offer 3 prizes for our different age groups in the area of addressing a problem that could help Wyoming. And we really feel like Kayleigh did that with her pitch challenge this summer and really thinking about something that impacts our rural communities and could help our cities and towns. So be thinking about that. If you are working with youth that may have an idea that would really be impactful to our state, there will be a special prize for those pitches that are developed. So we're pretty excited about that. Any other thoughts or questions for today? One other thought that I had, would it be super hard, Kate, to bring up one of the modules that that Heather developed from our summer challenge?
Sure. Let me pull it up right now.
We keep talking about our modules, and I thought it might be helpful if we just let you all catch a glimpse of that. Some of you might have seen this before, but again, this is on our site for the pitch challenge, and along with the resources that YEI has and Venture Labs also. I'm going to turn my camera off while we look at that.
Okay, so here is the website with the modules. I think I pasted that in the chat just a little bit ago. And let's see, what were we were going to be talking about Who's Your Competition, which has a couple of fun examples that we might want to highlight. Heather worked with us to produce these really great instructive videos. So this module for Who's Your Competition features Curie Blaney, which some of you may have met at a couple of our other roundtables. She's a really great example of somebody who's a young entrepreneur herself, and kind of doing sort of the social solution segment of what we might be talking about in a pitch challenge. And then Carson Raybow of Raybros, who is a young entrepreneur in sort of complement with his family, who runs a farm in Southeast Wyoming. So you can kind of learn about their work in the video here. And then we have a really fun, really simple exercise called the favorite cookie exercise, which I know was inspired by YEI. So a couple of just quick ways to provide a little context, and then to jump in and kind of loosen those entrepreneurial muscles. And then each module has a similar kind of layout with a variety of different activities that you might do yourself with your students or have your students do on their own. I don't know, for example, we could just go ahead and pop, or I don't know if it'll let me share, but can you guys see the favorite cookie activity? Mm-hmm. So it's a really fun way to stretch those muscles.
Thank you, Kate. I think it's good to just kind of explore some examples. And one of the things that the Young Entrepreneur Institute did is they put together a video featuring some of the information from our challenge in the fall, and including a bit of the governor's message. And so, Jessie, would you be willing to play that for the group?
Yeah, Kelly, do you have it right there on your machine, or I can look it up? I think I do have it on my desktop, actually. Let's see. Am I able to share?
Let me give you that right. Just a moment. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yes, I love this video. I've already played it 3 times today.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
It's right at my fingertips.
Let's see. Sorry about that. I have too many.
No worries.
Now. There you are.
Great. It's just about 4 minutes long, but it's really cool, and I really think it's inspirational when you take a look at all that can be.
Oh, let me go back and press the one button where you hear.
Yeah, I love the idea that, Wyoming is, we're kind of getting started with this with the Wyoming Afterschool Alliance, but we're part of a kind of a bigger ecosystem, and it's really exciting.
Absolutely. Can everybody, well, let me know if you can't hear this, so I'll. Good.
Learning about entrepreneurship from other entrepreneurs and business people inspires me and motivates me to never give up.
Entrepreneurship helped me in other areas of my life, like teaching me how to effectively and confidently interact with others and have a win-win focus while working with them.
Learning about entrepreneurship created a gateway for me to destroy the cycle of poverty that has plagued my family and instead create one of wealth.
I love entrepreneurship and pitch competitions. They afford kids an opportunity to creatively solve problems. It builds their confidence. It teaches them 21st century skills that they need to know. And it's a marvelous way for kids to be recognized and heard.
We participated in the pitch challenge, and several of our scholars discovered a talent within themselves that I don't think they knew existed. And not only did they discover that talent, but they discovered a passion for entrepreneurship. And because of YEI's lessons and engaging activities, I believe that is what brought out that passion and talent.
This is a fascinating time in Wyoming. Rarely do we have the opportunity to be part of history and make a difference. I want to encourage you because the work you will do, the ideas you have, the entrepreneurship you display will make a huge difference in our state. I think we all know that things have changed, and I think we all know that things are going to continue to change. You can be very much a part of what that future looks like.
This was an awesome opportunity for our group. I was able to recognize our students grow more confident, not only in their business ideas, but in other areas of their life. Learning how to do an elevator pitch is the most essential, transferable skill that we can teach our young entrepreneurs.
A fundamental life skill is the ability to express your ideas in a clear, concise, and compelling manner. The Young Entrepreneur Pitch Challenge is a wonderful way for young people to learn about, but more importantly, to practice this important skill. And it's important whether they become an entrepreneur or not.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're so lucky to have you all as partners at the Young Entrepreneur Institute and our partners at Venture Lab and all of the great work that Heather has done through Impact 307, creating the modules that we have developed through the Wyoming Afterschool Alliance. And with all of this, melded and meshed together, we really feel like there's a whole umbrella of support for our youth to really become engaged and for us to support you as adults through the process. Any other questions or comments as we kind of wrap up today? I will mention that we are posting every Wednesday on the Wyoming Afterschool Alliance Facebook page, our Walk Like an Entrepreneur Wednesday, short little activities that you can get some ideas to use with your youth in your programs. And thank you, Heather, for producing those. We had one come out yesterday, and our next roundtable will be toward the end of January. I think it is the 24th. And we hope you can join us. In the meantime, please do not hesitate to reach out if you have colleagues or friends that are interested, and it is not too late. March 8th is a long time away still. We have plenty of time. And really, even if students aren't able to meet that deadline, we will be doing this, you know, more times in the future. And please don't hesitate to let us know if you have any questions and how we can support you through the process. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Kayleigh. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Kelly and Jessie, for joining us today as our speakers. And thanks for all of you participating. I hope you have a great rest of the day and a nice evening.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.